this is Shira, and this is the 2021 Libra full moon, which will occur on March the 28th, 2021. Okay, some interesting factors regarding this Libra full moon. So the Sun will be conjunct Venus at 8 degrees with Chiron, and Saturn will be in Aquarius. Jupiter will also be in Aquarius. However, there is no longer a conjunction. Now, what I find very interesting about this chart, first and foremost, and which is actually wonderful for this full moon, is a beautiful grand air trine in Aquarius, Saturn, to 8 degrees moon in Libra, to the North Node and Mars in Gemini. So what does that mean? First of all, air is intellectual. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius are all air signs. So although this is a full moon, no doubt, there is going to be very likely a little less tension with this full moon than the, I guess you could say, average full moon. With this beautiful grand fire trine, it is a time where at this full moon, or around possibly just after and into April, a time where we will want to discuss what we feel. And now, if this was water and it was a grand trine, it would be more about a discussion and feelings, and those feelings throughout discussions. And this can be throughout the world, society, and personally amongst our relationships, so keep this in mind. However, right now we are going to discuss our feelings in a very rational manner. And when I say discuss, you can guarantee there is going to be a lot of discussion and communication about just about everything during this full moon. And the beauty about this full moon is whatever discussions we have right now will not become heated or very emotional. This is partially because of especially Mars in Gemini. And it's with the North Node. And Mars is all about communications, as is, again, the other two signs of Libra and Saturn, especially since, of course, it's a full moon. So at 8 degrees, Libra will oppose now not just the Sun, but also Venus. What does this all mean? So this is a great time under a full moon for discussions. And we will not get quite as carried away with emotional observations. It will be more about debate and light banter. And again, whether that includes relationships of all kinds in our lives or outwardly in the world. And this is good because we will have discussions regarding communications and improving our communications with others. But Gemini, especially Mars with the North Node, rules all forms of communication, whether that be transportation, whether that would be the internet and communications, wireless. And so there will be some kind of heightened communication on or around the full moon, the 28th of March, regarding such communications. Now, although the banter for a full moon will be rather lighthearted, and this also could be an event that transpires, that triggers discussions about communications, technology. That could be, anything from space travel to wireless communications, the internet, social media, you name it. So we could say there is an event regarding communications that is triggering a lot of intellectual banter regarding improvements of the way we communicate, or communications, technology, and so on. There will also be great strides, because again, we're talking about air here, in intellectual discussion. This is also going to be a wonderful time for educational institutions. So there may be some information that comes out that's, I would say, more positive than negative regarding anything intellectual or educational. And again, there could be some event or events that trigger conversation and banter publicly, even personally, within our relationships, where we can have discussions on a detached level about how we communicate, about the future of technology, and again, education or educational institution, educational pursuits. It's very lighthearted full moon. Now, there is a 8-degree opposition with, of course, the full moon in Libra. And Libra rules what? It rules relationships, is our approach to relationships. It is negotiations. It is law. It is balance. It is the desire for peacefulness. So with this full moon between Aries and Libra, you could say that part of our discussions, and possibly in a detached manner, will be regarding relationships, business. There may be some information that comes about now that is very informative regarding businesses, that could involve loans, but this is more of a full moon regarding air and fire than earth and water. So there is going to come about some information regarding possibly mergers with big business and negotiation. This will be a lot of discussion this month. And also, the relationships themselves will be a discussion this month with the Aries and Libra axis. So that actually itself will be a focus and topic of discussion, is how we relate to each other and how can we get along, especially since there has been a number of health crises as of late, a lot of political opposing views, and this will come also to the forefront in and around the full moon, possibly into April. Political disagreements that could get out of hand because of this full moon, and there could be some slight social upheaval and much regarding disagreements, again, arguments regarding, well, a number of things, but we will have to be very social or very socially gracious, I guess you could say, this month regarding our opposing views. And the focus will be, and especially with Chiron, the healer, and Venus, the planet of love, we will have to be especially mindful of being a little bit more low-key, less aggressive. So the opposition this month within the full moon is the aggressive nature and our outspoken opinions versus the very well-mannered, very negotiable, balanced, or need for balance, let's just say, moon in Libra. So this axis will become very prominent this month around the time of the full moon. So we will have to watch our temper, watch for any kind of, again, heated disagreements. The political atmosphere may become tense again. But if we can be mindful of this wonderful grand air trine, and this includes the full moon in Libra, we will make great strides this month regarding business, negotiations of all kinds, and we will be able to have discussions. And again, this is not just publicly, but personally, in a very detached, intellectual manner, which will be extremely rewarding and will kind of take a little bit of the difficulty out of this in general full moon this month. Now, we have Mercury this month in Pisces with Neptune in Pisces. So this adds to a lot regarding our sensitivities to each other. So that kind of in a way promotes this grand air trine and let's get along for peace and to get along. Okay. Now, there is Uranus at 8 degrees. A lot of 8-degree planets going on here. You've got Sun, Chiron, the asteroid, Venus at 8 degrees, and then you further have Uranus at 8 degrees, and then you have, of course, the full moon of 8 degrees. So, there is a inconjunct or quiconx between the moon and Uranus exact. So there will be some probable, unpredictable events that we will also have to look out for. And again, Taurus is the sign of the bully. However, this month, its depositor is Venus in Aries. So that really heightens the unexpected. So if we expect the unexpected, the unusual, the surprising this month, then we will possibly keep debates to a minimum, especially since Uranus depositor this month is exactly opposing the full moon in Libra conjunct the Sun and Chiron. And Chiron is a healer, so this month we may have the need to really speak our minds, kind of to vent. There's this great need during this full moon to just tell it like it is, to act and speak impulsively. So we will have to kind of watch our impulsiveness this month and our rashness, and keep a lid on any kind of desire for violence or aggression. But again, we do have Mercury, the planet of communication itself, with Neptune. So if we can temper our sensitivities and become more aware of the way we treat others and keep our argumentative desire at bay, the full moon should be pretty good. And if we can come to any kind of agreements without becoming emotional this month, then in fact the full moon of Libra on March 28th will be great. Now, we do have Pluto still in Capricorn. And the beauty about this is there is a wonderful sextile to Neptune. And again, what does Pluto rule? Pluto rules authority. And in this case, because it's in Capricorn, it rules karma, structure, government. So with the influence and the sextile with Neptune, or within 5 degrees, you can say there is going to be a need this month to follow the rules, or there is going to be some kind of news that comes about that we will need to follow certain rules or regulations in order to improve communication. Because again, Pluto rules government, and Neptune in Pisces with Mercury is a very sensitive point this month. Now, Jupiter still is in Aquarius, and Saturn is in Aquarius, but they are no longer conjunct. However, their ruler still is Uranus, and Uranus is again at 8 degrees. Now, Uranus makes an exact sextile to Venus, Chiron, and the Sun. So again, we have this sextile, this Earth, we have this exact conjunction within 8 degrees, but a aspect, or a semi-square, I should say, aspect between the Aries 8 degrees planets and Uranus in Taurus. And so what does that mean? Okay, so it is a semi-sextile, excuse me. We're going to get the aspects right today. Okay, but they are within the same degree of 8 degrees. So there is a little bit of tension there, but at the same time, especially with the Aries connection, with the full moon, the grand trine in air, this is a very cooperative full moon. And although there is going to be a great deal of debates this month. Who's right? Who's wrong? He said, she said. There are so many more positive connections with the Grand Trine, with the Pluto sextile Neptune, with Mercury with Neptune this month, that again, this is going to be a rather lighthearted full moon. So that this month, if we can see other people's point of views, play down our need for debate and arguments, and possibly more, because of Uranus in Taurus, and that still, irregardless, makes a square to Saturn. If we can focus on the positive need to get along, to agree, and have debate the opposition here within the full moon, then it looks to me that the Libra full moon indeed will be one that is of peace and one of balance. Now, with the Aries influence, there's also going to be discussions about wanting to be number one. And again, this goes back to he said, she says, I'm right, you're wrong. However, at the end of the day, this Libra full moon is about balance, peacefulness. Yes, if we can keep our need for arguments at a minimum and debates, and not be so intent, Aries, on winning and being number one, kind of this me-oriented outlook right now, then the full moon in Libra will be one of great negotiations, balance, and most of all, peace. If you'd like to get in touch with me, my contact information is down below. I give one-on-one readings and written reports. Please subscribe to this channel and press the bell notification. Until next time, many, many blessings.